Well, it's exciting, like always when you start off the season and you have a bunch of new guys. We also have a lot of returning guys, so that obviously makes me feel good as well. A lot better off than we were last year in that regard. Energy to be expected was very good. In some ways too good, a little bit chaotic at times. We focused on the attack. You know, a lot of programs will focus on the defending and really getting things ramped up physically and getting them fighting, and that's an important, certainly part of the game, but we really want to get our guys playing soccer. So we focused on the attack, our passing, positioning, and possession, a little bit of our attacking philosophy, introduced some of the concepts in the attack of how we're going to play that relate to our style of play. And, you know, it was good, short and sharp, and I think they got enough fitness to push along. But I think they'll have enough energy this evening to where we can get something out of our scrimmage tonight.
Obviously just one practice in, but how do you see some of the positions, you know, starting with forward, mid, defender, and going back to goalkeeper?
Well, I would say, you know, in the back we obviously have 3 of the 4 backs returning, assuming they win the job. I mean, everything's up for grabs at this point, but we do have some players who have won jobs in the past, and they bring a certain level of experience. DeAndre Yedlin and Chad Barson and Brian Gallego, we expect to be, if we play 4 in the back, them in there, and that leaves the left back a bit up in the air. You know, in the midfield we have a lot of experience returning with Scott Caldwell, Will Trapp. We have Eric Stevenson, Aiden Quinn. If we play with 3, you know, obviously, you know, those 4 guys will be fighting for those spots. If we play with 4, then we've got 4 of those guys. We also have Dylan Cerna, who I think he'll make a run for a starting spot in one of those 3 or 4 positions. And then up top, we have probably the most new guys. So that's probably the position where we're a little bit more uncertain. So, you know, again, we have a lot of returning guys that bring experience. It's a good feeling to know we have, you know, a lot of guys that have been in the trenches and been through, you know, a college season or a few college seasons, and they know what we expect and what we want. They know how we play, and we have to sprinkle in a few young guys though, and we expect a few young guys, a few youngsters to play. You know, maybe it's 1 in the back, maybe it's 1 in midfield, maybe it's a couple up top. We'll see. Okay. You know, that'll be sorted out on the training pitch, and then of course in goal we have experience returning in David Mavis and Andrian, but we also have a new young exciting goalkeeper in Fernando Pina. Okay. And there's several other options. You know, up top, Dersheng's interesting, Amari Morris, Alfred Karoma, and we have a whole slew of other players that could compete for time.
Okay, 7th season now. You know, what do you think about just where the program's at? You won a national title 2 years ago. You're a perennial national title contender. Where do you think you're at 7 seasons in now?
Well, it's a new season, so it's every year is a little bit different with where you're at. You know, things kind of go in cycles, and I felt like we were a little bit on the front end of a cycle last year because we lost basically our whole team, seven pros, 7 starters, and you know, I feel like we're kind of on the second year of a cycle, building back to win a national championship. I think this year we have a much better chance to do it. Because we have so many returning players, and I think we have multiple options in every role, which makes our job harder, but it also gives us more options depending on what the opponent brings, depending on how players are performing. It's nice to have more depth this year. So I would say we're where we want to be. We're in a position, I think, with the talent we have and the experience we have returning, where we could make a run to win the national championship. That's obviously a long way off. We've got a long process and journey to get there, and you know, we're not there yet. Certainly it's going to take a lot of training and a lot of games to be able to bring it to life.
Okay. Do you think the pressure that the guys are under, because national championship, a lot of teams want to be in your position, but how does that change what you do, and how do you keep them prepared and focused?
Yeah, you ask that every year. You love that. You love that. You love that question. The media loves the pressure, target on your backs question. We honestly, you know, and I've said this before, no one can put more pressure on myself and my team than what we put on ourselves. So our standards are very high. We want to win a national championship. We understand, though, there's a process to get there. It takes time. So we have a perspective on that. You know, so it's not going to happen overnight. We have a formula to do it. We have a blueprint to do it. We've done it. So, you know, that makes it, I think, a little bit easier to do it. But, you know, we need, again, every training and every game in order to reach our potential. You know, we have a lot of tough games on this schedule this year. Probably the most difficult schedule that I've ever had. You look at the rankings in the first, you know, 4 weekends, we play 4 top 15 ranked programs. So that's great because we're going to find out where we're at. We're going to measure ourselves at a very high level, and you know, we expect to win those games, but we may not. And regardless of whether we win or lose, we're going to figure out where we're at, and we're going to make adjustments. And if we need to correct some things, then we'll correct some things. But we want to be undefeated at the end of the year, and that's the #1 priority. And so we want to win games in the regular season, but we're more concerned about growing and kind of learning and being prepared for the postseason, where we can hopefully make a run to win it all, like we did last year. And I felt good about that. You know, with a young team, we suffered you know, a few setbacks in the regular season, but in the end, we were a real contender, and we made a good run, and 1 goal away from the 8s. You know, in some ways, maybe it was fair. You know, we didn't have as talented a team and a mature enough team to probably win it all this year. You know, I expect us to make a further run, and I hope we're in a position to win it all.
Answer well over here too.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what you feel are the strengths of the team this year?
Well, I think, again, depth is certainly a positive. I think our experience, you know, in every position other than the front line. We lost Darren Maddox, so you can't hide from that. We lost 21 goals, one of the best strikers in the country. But I think also we have now a plethora, a diverse mix of weapons that we can throw in up top to hopefully, I don't think we'll have a one-headed monster like we did last year. I think we'll have, you know, a 3 or 4 option attack, and you know, hopefully we get goals a little bit by committee there. But you know, we're going to play the way we play. You know, our philosophy and style are always going to be the same. It's a winning philosophy. It has been for us. You know, we started to bleed that into them today, the attacking side. You know, that control of the game, that possession. So you're going to see a technical team, a team that wants the ball, a team that looks to decide the game. And you're going to see also a very honest team, a team that works hard when they lose the ball, a team that, you know, rolls up their sleeves and battles when we don't have the ball to get the ball back.
Personally, to see a lot of your former players have such success in MLS, what does that do for you as a coach?
Well, it you know, it gives us great pride. It's exciting to see your guys move on and to be able to play as a pro and make a living kicking a ball around. It makes you feel good. You know, it makes you feel like you've played a little bit of a role in helping them achieve their goals and dreams. We have 15 players now that are in MLS, with one guy that just moved to Thailand, so 14 in MLS and one guy overseas. So I think it's hopefully a credit to the talent we get, because they're good when we get them, but hopefully it's a credit to our ability to bring out their best.